Okay, so since you're clicking on this video, assuming that you guys want to know more about what's happening and everything, why the videos are gonna have to be put on hold for a little bit. Again, man, this month has been a really big roller coaster for me. It's been quite possibly my lowest month ever in terms of just shit that's happening. But like unlike back in high school when all my hormones were going out of whack and stuff like that, I'm actually I'm trying to hang in there. Like when you talk to me, it doesn't immediately seem like there's something wrong. When back in high school, one small little sad thing happens, and I'm just completely in a big old like world of sadness and stuff. Anyways, to get on with the business at hand, so this doesn't become like a 40-minute long video. So basically, what's happening is. So my grandma's getting very, very old at this point. She's 88 years old right now, and she doesn't have much time left on this earth, and uh, so over the past month or so, she has been she's usually a very active person. She's always walking around, cooking stuff, doing stuff around the house, just very active and always moving and always talking very loudly, just very bright. Has a really very, very bright personality, and at times that can get a little annoying, but honestly, she's a very bright person. She has a really bright personality. She loves to be active and all that stuff. She keeps acting like she's in her 60s. She's acting like she's 65 when she's clearly almost 25 years older than that. So but yeah, so over the past month or so, that all has kind of slowly started to deteriorate. She's been sleeping a lot more. She hasn't been as active. She's just been like sleeping more and more and more, until one day, when she is living at one of my aunt's house, and two of my cousins live there and stuff like that. So one of my cousins, my cousin Dan, was basically chilling in his room one day when his sister, my other cousin, walks in and is like, "Hey, call 911. Grandma's kind of unresponsive on the toilet." And so they called 911. Ambulance came, brought her to the hospital, and so basically what happened was 2 years ago in 2017, she had a little surgery. Not really little, but it was a pretty big surgery. But she had a surgery that I don't know what it is. I don't remember what it was called, and I don't remember exactly what it was supposed to be for. But she had a surgery. They monitored her white blood cell count, and at that time, it was 15,000, somewhere around there. And it was a little high, but they said it was all right. Really no big deal to worry about. But it was still a little bit high. The night that she got administered into the hospital, like 3 or 4 nights ago, when that whole thing happened with her being unresponsive on the toilet, they took her white blood cell count again, and it turned out to be 83,000, which is super, super high. And it is actually, like a good telltale, like a good early sign of that she has leukemia. Bundled with the fact that she all of a sudden just got really tired and lacking of energy and all that stuff, very lethargic. So they did some tests on her. They did some blood work and all that stuff. And she had to have an IV, which which required a catheter. And my gosh, she just wanted to be left alone. Honestly, she just kept like, anytime she had the energy to say something, 80% of the time it was her complaining about the catheter, that she wanted to yank it out. But I actually could, obviously couldn't, because she had the IV. So yeah. So let's see, where do I go with this? So they did some blood work, and it seemed like there was it seemed like it could have been leukemia, but they had to rule out a whole bunch of other things. So they had to do biopsy, a bone marrow biopsy on her, and the results would take a few days. And she was complaining about the hospital food and everything, and so we had to cook her food from home so that she could eat and actually get some nutrients in her body and stuff like that. Yesterday, the doctor called my cousin and said that the results aren't done yet. They're mostly done, but they aren't completely done yet. But there's enough evidence to confidently say that she has acute leukemia. And the problem is that that kind of leukemia requires some pretty strong chemotherapy. And considering her age, we just weren't confident that she would be able to make it through. She wouldn't be able to handle that chemotherapy, that really, really strong chemotherapy. And so we're still trying to see, we're going to sit down. Today is the 24th, I believe it's a Thursday. Yeah, it's a Thursday. So they're going to sit down on Sunday to discuss options and what to do. My family has been handed some documents basically saying, in the case of this event, do we try to do this? Like say in the event that she stops breathing, do we try to resuscitate her and perform CPR? All that stuff. Do we try to treat the leukemia like at hand, or do we just try to treat her and make her feel the most comfortable that she can while she's going through this right now, and just basically let her peacefully pass away, So it's a lot of stuff to handle right now, and it's really tough right now. I'm gonna be flying in Saturday morning here, so I'll be landing there in the afternoon. Probably even the evening, because it actually is a connected flight. I have to fly. So Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna be here in Tampa at around 11:30, flying up to Chicago. And then from Chicago, I'll be taking a flight all the way out to Los Angeles. So I might even get there in the evening, despite the 3-hour time change. I might still have to get there in the evening. It just depends on how everything goes. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the evening. I'm most likely not going to make it. By the time of by the mid afternoon, it's definitely going to be the evening. But yeah, it's going to be really, 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 really tough. I will be there just in time for when they sit down to discuss options. I don't know how much say I'm going to have in the final decision, but at least I'm going to be there. I'll be there on time. I don't know if I'll actually be there. I'll be in Los Angeles, but I don't know if I'm actually going to participate in it. I think that's the better way to say it. So it's getting a little dry. But yeah, so a very, very tough time for me right now. Hope you guys understand. This month has just absolutely been very, very tough for me. From girlfriend moving out and then breaking up with me a few days later, to now my grandma is not, she's not feeling well anymore. She's probably on her last legs right now. Actually, earlier this morning, one of my aunts said that she went to go visit her early in the morning, and she actually did not respond at all anymore. Basically, my aunt tried everything to wake her up, patting her, calling for her and everything for like about a good 10-15 minutes, and she just would not wake up. She wouldn't respond or anything. And the fingers on her right hand have become very, very swollen. I believe that is the arm that she has her IV in. I'm pretty sure. Typically, it's usually on the right arm. So those fingers on her right hand have become swollen. I don't know exactly the extent of the swelling, whether it's minor swelling or completely just but nonetheless, it is swelling. So. That is a very, very bad sign. I don't know if she's maybe having an allergic reaction to the IV. That is a possibility, but I'm not sure. I mean, the food that we made her this morning, she didn't even eat any of it, so it kind of had to get dumped because it's gonna get bad and all that stuff. So yeah, it's very, very tough. I hope she can. Just hang in there and be able to wake up one last time, before I get there. Because, she's basically the mother figure that I didn't have growing up. Basically, okay, so this is getting into very, very personal stuff, but since this is an unlisted video, again, I don't really care what gets said in these videos. So basically what happened, when I was born, was that my mother was 7.5 months pregnant with me or something like that, and she was driving home from her graveyard shift job. I guess her overnight job at the casino in Chicago. I believe it was Horseshoe Casino. So she was coming home from her dealer job at around 6:30 in the morning, and reports say, or reports, they think that she fell asleep behind the wheel, and then she drove into an overpass. So for those of you that are kind of, every time I tell this story, they always think it's very, very sad. It's been almost 22 years. Honestly, I've gotten over it. It's no big deal for me to share this anymore. I mean, at first I was really, really sad that that's what happened to my mother, but whatever. It's like I said, it's been almost 22 years. I've grown up without a mother. I've learned to be myself without a mother, and so it doesn't really affect me too much anymore. And excuse me. So they were able to save me, but they weren't able to save her. And so because I never had a mother figure, my dad basically gave me over to my grandparents to take care of me. And basically, my grandma was the one that became my mom, basically. Well, as in terms of the person to cry to whenever something happens and I need someone to cry to. That was definitely as a kid, that is. I would always go running to her. But as in terms of helping me grow and stuff like that, she wasn't honestly the best one to give advice. She wasn't the best person to be giving advice out, especially to someone like me, because it gave me some really, really bad habits that I only recently have finally been able to drop. She's again not really the best at teaching me how to become an actual person in real life. I mean, I could get away with it as a kid, but definitely not in the real life. I can't really name a certain specific habit that I can. There isn't a specific habit I can name off right off the top of my head right now, but she taught me some really, really bad habits that were not, very good for doing stuff in the real life. So in terms of actually teaching me how to be an adult, growing up, that would definitely be my aunts, my uncles, and my cousins that basically try to undo the damage that my grandma had done to me. But still, I mean, she's a big part of my life. She's been there from the very beginning. She was the one that cared for me. The moment I got out of the hospital, she was the one that took care of me. And to see her like this, it's really, really tough right now. Again, she's 88 years old. She's very, very old. I mean, we could definitely try our best to save her, but honestly, at this age, I don't know if we can do much to save her. We're still gonna try. We're gonna see what happens. I know I should keep my head up and be confident that she's gonna get through this, but honestly, there's just so many things that are happening right now that honestly, it's the future's looking really, really grim right now. So, again, I'm trying my best to keep my head up, but it's really, really hard to. So, yeah. But anyways, hope you guys understand what's happening right now. Again, I'll be flying out Saturday morning, and it's going to be a one-way flight so far. So I don't even know when I'll get back. So as long as once everything is fine over over in LA, then I'll be making my way. I'll be flying back. But yeah, it's very, very tough right now. So yeah, but yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys understand. I'll try my best to get some updates out for you. I have stuff in the video description down below. My social media stuff. So I'll try my best to update you guys there. I don't do much of stuff on Instagram. I might tweet every so often here on Twitter, or not here on Twitter, but on Twitter. I'll try to. I'll maybe tweet every so often if I get a significant bump in followers all of a sudden. But yeah. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see what I can do to, I'll see when I get back. I'll immediately post the video once I get back. But yeah, I don't know how long I'll be gone. Could be potentially 2 weeks or so, but Yeah. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys later.